alert. If you don't like spoilers, don't watch this video because I totally give away the ending to To Kill a Mockingbird. But you should totally read the book. Let's get this started. Darn it. Ow. Anyway, as I was saying, let's get this started. You just watched a trailer, making you totally want to read the book To Kill a Mockingbird. Or really confusing you if you've never read the book. First up, author details. This is Harper Lee. She is the author of To Kill a Mockingbird. Now, 3 awesome facts about her are: first, she was born in Monroeville, Alabama. Harper lived with her 3 older siblings, seeing as she was the youngest of 4. Her mother was interesting. Apparently she had bipolar disorder and did not go out of the house very much. So, bet that was a little bit traumatic. Her father was normal, I suppose, as he did most of the parenting, and she seemed to turn out alright. Second fact, her best friend was Truman Capote, another writer at the same time. Truman also had a rough childhood. His parents completely abandoned him, so he had to live with relatives in Monroeville, so they were friends. So, if you have read the book To Kill a Mockingbird, you might say, hey, that sounds a lot like Dill. Probably. The third fact talks about 3 different colleges that Harper Lee went to. The first was Huntington's All-Girl College. The second was Alabama State University. The third was Oxford University. The first she went to just to go to college. Didn't work out, so she went to the second, where she studied law, and then realized, wait a second, I hate law. I want to be a writer. And the third she went to be a writer, and then started studying law, and realized again, I want to be a writer, so she moved to New York. Bonus fact. Harper Lee has only written 1 book and has gotten the Pulitzer Prize for it. She was the first person to get a Pulitzer Prize on her first book, ever. Way to go! Guess she's a one-hit wonder. There are 5 major plot details that I am going to talk about in To Kill a Mockingbird. The first is the rabid dog scene. In this scene, Atticus must shoot a dog that is rabid down the street and is apparently threatening the neighborhood. Calpurnia gives him a call and says, hey! There's a rabid dog and I'm scared. Your children might get bitten. You might want to come down here. And what do you know? Vroom, vroom, hello, there's Atticus with a gun. But he doesn't want to shoot it. Atticus thinks he's not that good of a shooter, but the sheriff insists that he has to do it because the sheriff is afraid he's going to miss. What do you know? Atticus does it. Atticus finally shoots the dog and kills it. Yay! Poor dog. Anyway, this scene shows how humble Atticus is. Major plot detail 2. This one is the fire. This is the scene where pretty much everyone's house catches on fire. Yeah! This is important because it signifies the burning of the innocents. This is the first time where Scout's kind of like, whoa. Guess the world isn't all fairies and unicorns, like I thought. The third major plot scene. This one is the pants scene, when Jem, Scout, and Dill all travel into the Radley backyard, and as they're being shot at by Nathan Radley, pow, pow, Jem loses his pants. He goes back to retrieve them, and he finds them all sewn up and nice. This is a Boo scene, showing that Boo is just like a little kid. He's actually a nice guy. Fourth major plot scene. In this part of the novel, it's a court scene. Yay! Just kidding, not yay. But Tom Robinson is a black guy, and he's on trial for raping Mayella, who is a white girl. And in the town, since it's, a racist town, what Mayella says goes. So, by the end of this scene, Tom Robinson is found guilty, even though all of the evidence against him, which there is none, is that the bruises on Mayellow's face are on her right side, which means a left-handed person hit her. But Tom Robinson has a limp left arm. He can't use his left arm. So it's pretty much guaranteed that he's not guilty, but because the town is so racist, he's found guilty and eventually is shot. 5th major plot scene. I call this one the night fight. This is when Scout and Jem are walking home from their little Halloween play thing, and Scout's in her ham costume, and it's all like, yeah, I'm a ham, and Jem is like, oh, you're a good-looking ham there, and they hear footsteps, and they're like, ooh, what's that? And a couple things happen, and then eventually they're attacked by Bob Ewell, who happens to be the girl who got raped father. Actually, he's the one that beat her. Awesome. He got mad because Atticus made a fool of him at the court trial and decided to take out his children. So Bob fights the children and he's like, Rawr! Scout gets saved by her ham costume because he's got a knife and he's like, Rawr! And he's like stabbing at her and she's like, oh my gosh, who is this man stabbing me? And Jem tries to fight him, I think, and he gets his arm broken. It's all like, my arm's all broken. And he passes out. And what do you know? Boo! Their creepy next door neighbor comes and saves the day. He's like, Rawr! And kills Bob. And picks up Jem and takes him to the house. And Scout's like, woo! Yeah! I'm traumatized for life. And that's pretty much the end of the book. Yeah! So those are the 5 major plot scenes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The next topic's character analysis.
I'm going to cover the 3 main characters in this book. I could cover a couple more, but they're not as important, so I'm just going to cover the top 3. Those 3 characters are 1, Scout Finch, 2, Jem Finch, and 3, Atticus Finch, the 3 Finches. Let's go into depth. Scout is a precocious young girl who is too smart for her own good and is a very die-hard tomboy. Throughout the novel, it is seen that Scout grows and develops and discovers that the world around her is not all fairy tales and unicorns like she thought. One example of the fact that Scout does not have social skills as well as she should like the other girls is that her teacher accuses Hitler of being so prejudiced and being such a bad person, but then at the same time, her teacher is then prejudiced against black. So Scout calls out her teacher and gets in trouble for it. It's instances like these where Scout grows and develops. She goes home and talks to her father about it. He explains to her what's happening and how to deal with situations like that. So it's parts like this in the novel where Scout really grows and develops. Jem. Jem is Scout's older brother. He grows and develops just like Scout does in the novel, but in a couple different ways. Jem is a bit quieter and a little bit more sensitive to the world than Scout is because he's a little bit older. He's more like a teenager, so when he has to deal with things that are tough and stress him out, he gets really, really depressed and angry, and he kind of takes that out on Scout sometimes. Jem really helps Scout understand and empathize with other people. Atticus. Atticus is Scout and Jem's father. Atticus has lost his wife, so Calpurnia, their nanny kind of person, she's black, and she's their nanny. She helps out, but Atticus helps with the major development in social aspects like Scout during the school fights. Atticus is pretty much the basis of the novel of the Tom Robinson trial. Atticus is the lawyer that is defending Tom Robinson, and because Tom Robinson is black, no one else wanted to take the trial. And if there was someone who would have taken Tom Robinson's case, they probably wouldn't have defended him well, which is why the town was angry that Atticus was actually trying to defend Tom Robinson. And because of Atticus, and the fact that he stands up for what he knows is right, Jem and Scout learn a major, major lesson that doing what's right isn't always the easiest thing to do. I will be talking about 2 themes and 1 symbol. The first theme is growth and development. as seen by Scout throughout the entire novel. I have been saying this throughout this entire video, that Scout throughout the entire novel grows and develops. She learns major lessons in her life. The second theme is racism. This one's kind of obvious. This theme is shown throughout the entire novel, through the court case, the school, and even in Scout's own home. It is shown in the court trial, obviously, because Tom Robinson loses. In school, when Scout is being bullied and is fighting with boys because they're, bullying her because her dad is defending a black man. And finally, in Scout's own home is when Aunt Alexandria comes, and she's, not really happy that Scout's father is defending a black man as well. So that is the theme of racism seen throughout the entire book. Finally, I'm going to talk about one of the main symbols. I know there's many more, but I think this is the big one that definitely needs to be addressed, and that is the symbol of the Mockingbird. This is seen through Jem and Tom Robinson mainly. You could argue that it was Boo too, and I think that, but I'm mainly going to talk about Jem and Tom Robinson. The symbol of the book, obviously, is in the title, To Kill a Mockingbird. So a mockingbird is definitely a huge theme. In the book, there's a line that says, to kill a mockingbird is a sin because all they do is sing for us. All they do is sing their hearts out for us, and killing them would then be a sin because they don't do anything bad to humans. A mockingbird is also representative of innocence, so if your innocence is either killed or, hurt, then you are seen as a mockingbird, which is shown in Jem. This is shown mainly after the court trial when Jem breaks down and cries because he doesn't understand why people can be so cruel to a person just because of their skin color. This is an example of when the mockingbird is exemplified. And Tom Robinson is also shown as a mockingbird because he's innocent and he is shot. Yeah! I think that concludes my video. Thank you so much for watching and staying with me, and I hope you learned something and even enjoyed yourself.